Today we're back at that little Steel 025. Uh, got some interesting comments from you guys. Okay, I'm gonna explain something to you guys. I normally don't work on these little buggers. I don't like working on them. My fingers don't fit in there. I don't have a lot of interest, but that might change. This has kind of been fun to play with. Learned a few things. Okay, some of you say your 025 or MS250s have got a high and low jet. And a couple of you said, well, it's high jets in the handle. Well, when I say it on video, I think know what I'm talking about, but you convinced me that maybe I better take a second look. And I did. Okay. Indeed, some of them did have a high and low jet, from what I'm understanding. Nobody could tell me exactly where the cutoff was, but somewhere along the line it did. But when you see on the cover, L, that's for low jet, and one turn out, there is no high jet adjustment on this. There is none. So this is the way this saw is. Onward to a better thing. We are going to look at what we're going to do to get air out of this muffler. We want to eliminate heat. Get rid of the heat. That's the whole trick. And hopefully gain a little bit. We're not going to pipe it. We're not going to do anything crazy. We're going to look at what the common person can do to make this a better running saw. So the first thing I got to do, I'll get you right over here in this position where I did last time. That seemed to work all right. And get a little light on the subject. And my son found this for me. That ratchet's 3/8 on one side, 1/2 inch, and 1/4. It's not meant for a lot of pressure, but we're going to take this muffler off. And we're going to see what it makes it tick. Okay, we've got the nuts off. I had to be a little bit careful there. I think there's a little more to it than that. So we're going to shine our little light in and see. I don't want to hurt nothing. That'd be the last thing we should do, huh? Boy, this is an interesting little bugger. There is carbon in the floor of the cylinder. That lets me know we're going in the right direction. Now, we got this little muffler off. It's got a pair of studs with little tiny nuts. I had to put a little oil on them to get them off, believe it or not. Okay, now, it looks to me like that little bugger pops up. Oh, the screen fell out. I'll be darned. Okay, it's got them 3 little waffles in the front. But, I'll tell you a little trick. I don't know if I can get this where you can see it. But, see that little screen down in there? And then from the back side, it hits that plate. Okay? Then the air has to come up through that screen with them little holes. I would consider that fairly ample, how many holes they got in that to flow. But the problem is, it's got to hit the back side of that plate. That's what it's got to do to come out. Now that is above. It goes straight in here and comes out above it. Okay, I kind of like that in a way. I really do. But I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. We're going to make like at least 1 hole or maybe 2 in there, just a bit bigger, to ensure that we can get that air out of the saw. Because I honestly think it's choked up just a bit much. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. And we'll just see where we're at. We're cutting it out with a Dremel. That works. there's a little cutting oil. Don't build heat up. These pieces are stainless. We got it down to there. Now we just got to clean it up and deburr it. And we'll be putting this together shortly. Okay, now that I got brake clean on my glasses, let me just show you what we're up against here. Is really quite interesting. The air comes from the cylinder in this little square box. It comes up the top. Remember that had a bunch of holes in it? This is what I decided to do. It'll hit right on that spot. See where it's quite light there? Just like that. Oh, well, it's like this is what it is. Okay? It has to come up through here and then out our louvers. Right here. So, what we know we have now is we have a way to adjust how much airflow comes out of the saw. So we'll be playing with that too. I'm going to reassemble this real quick and we're going to see what we got. Oh, by the way, when you grind on anything, even a muffler, you make sure that's deburred real good and you have chemically and physically cleaned all of the debris, all the shavings out, because I'll promise you, they'll get back in your saw and you won't like it. Okay, so we'll get this put together. Okay, so what we did was got our muffler body put back on. We slid this piece back on. You see it right there. That's detachable, obviously. Just pops back on like that. Now what we need to do is try it first with the factory opening. We might close it up, might open it up. We'll just see when we run it. That was actually a little more of a challenge than I thought it'd be, putting that back together. You had to do a little wiggle jiggling, but we got it. Get both sides put back on this. I don't never work on these little saws. The nice thing is, a chainsaw is a chainsaw. You just look for familiarities in them. That's all you gotta do. Just look for familiarities. These little tricks will work on more than just this one little saw. Think about what you're doing, though. You're trying to get the air out. If you get your exhaust opening too far, it will fall on its face. It won't pull. It seems like, so far, the best you can do when you're working with stock mufflers, have your exhaust opening somewhere between 5/8 to 3/4 of what the opening out of the cylinder is, exact, So you want it to be smaller than that. You have to have some back pressure. When you do a muffler mod, you want to feel a lot of pressure coming out of it. If it just feels like it's just billowing out, it's like them 2-tube mufflers. You see, they're not impressive because they got 1 tube too many. Yeah. There's no pressure. Excessive pressure, you're obviously not going to do that because you already know you want to go big or go home. That's what you want to do. But don't. Just get that in 5/8 to 3/4 roll. If you do that, you're in good shape. Okay, I'll get the saw button back together and we're going to see what we see. Okay. Not real tight, just tight enough. That's all I'm looking for. Oh, I took this foolish thing off. They're a quarter turn lock. One of you made a comment that if you don't have this filter all the way on, it's hard to get this on. And that's right. That's right. If it's cocked up a little bit, it doesn't want to go on. My first thing is I'm not familiar with putting these little buggers together. So I've already got a handicap. See, I'm going to fight it again, ain't I? Yeah, just like that. I did that the first time. And yes, my filter's on all the way. They could have done that better. They don't want to be homeowner sauce be as good, I think. Now, sometimes when you do a muffler mod, you got to give it a little bit of tweak on that low jet. You'll know if it's running it might run just a little lean in an idle. It might run a little lean on the top end. This one here, we can't adjust the hide jet, so if we're lean, we're going to close these up just a bit, these baffles. We'll close them up a bit. Well, I don't know what's going to happen here, but it's time to start it. Oh, that's a good sign, isn't it? That's kind of cool. That old bugger got a little bit of a crack and snap to it now. When we run it in the wood, which we'll do here in a little while, we'll do it at the end of my day. I got some smaller wood up back. I'll give it a little shot. But what we're gonna do is we'll button this up, put the bar back onto it, maybe give him a little sharpen, and as my nephew saw, he's a good ag, hard worker. Got a nice truck, nice snowmobile, nice girlfriend, nice house, and he's happy. That's what's important, is being happy in today's world. So we got that done. Okay, hope that little muffler mod we did for this will help you guys. I could tell right on the bench that we did definitely wake it up. These ain't a fast cutting little bugger unless, well, what if someday we hot rodded it for him? That may be in another video. This is about how-tos. This is what this is about. So hopefully you guys get something out of that. And I was kind of happy to do this one for him, honestly. For the longest time, you couldn't convince me to work on these little saws. I'll be right honest with you. You couldn't. And I've got more to say about things today. And I don't know if I'll put it on this video or another one. But what I will do is put his bar back on for him. And we have the maintenance done. This was just about maintenance and a little bit of a muffler mod, which we did. We did good. Cleaned the saw. It weighs about 1.5 pounds lighter than it did. So that's all good. Nah, I'm going to put it all on today's video. For those of you that popped in to see just this muffler mod, you ain't got to watch the rest. Unless you're interested in what's next. Then you want to stick around. Okay, here is something I said I'd never do. Yep, that's what we're going to build, a 6100 Pro Saw. It's 61 cc's. It's right there in that ragged edge territory between being a small saw and a logging saw. Personally, if it ain't 70 cc's, I ain't going logging with it. And I like just a little more than that, personally. 76, 77 cc's, I like the best. But boy, there's a lot of 70 to 72 cc saws out there that, like the 372 XP, great saw. 044 steel, there's another one. It's a nice saw in the smaller 70cc. You want to get just a little bit bigger, the 046 steel, 460, they were a good logging saw in that class. Now, just for my logger buddy, he's starting a new log job. And we got kind of a little bit swamped on local people over the holidays. Hey, can you fix this, Harv? I want to cut some firewood. Next guy comes in, can you fix this, Harv? I want to cut some firewood. Harv, can you fix this? I don't know what's wrong with it. Take your time. Can you have it by next Tuesday? Well, guys, I got, it doesn't happen very often, but once in a while we get a few. And most of them are 10, 15-minute little. It takes you longer to clean the darn things. It takes me an hour to clean a saw, generally, than it does anything else. And I won't send them even to my neighbors or my friends or whatever back real dirty. I try to make sure that they got what they need. Okay, now a 61cc saw is not a logging saw. We know that. We also know the potential for a Sax-Dolmar build. We know that too. They do build good. The biggest trick is getting around that darn muffler in them. This one, what we are going to do is it only comes with one dog. We're going to come up with a set of dogs. Yeah, still got the tag on it. He took it out of the back of his truck, threw some gas in it, and tried it out on something. That's all it's done. So, it's got a 20-inch bar on it. Full comp chain. Just ugly old thing, though. And it's just what saws come with. It has 4.5 horsepower. That's what it's advertised. That's too light for logging. But, and that's probably a 20-inch bar is about what you want in hardwood. You wouldn't want any more. It's a firewood saw. We know that. But you know what? It don't weigh much. So what if we set it up with a Samara lightweight? Yeah, why don't we do that? Try it with full skip. After we poured it and muffler mod it. Here's what our requirements are. I have to get, out of a 4.5 horsepower saw, I have to get 5.5 horsepower to command his attention. So I have to gain 1 horsepower. That's quite a high percentage I have to increase. This is something I've got to do the next few days. I've got an opportunity to run some saws now. I won't actively be working on this job every day, but we have saws here that I haven't shipped because I want to run them. And so this is good for us because I haven't had a place to run saws. And it's because of the weather. I can't get in where I normally do. I'm getting desperate. So we're going to build this 61cc logging saw for a 61-year-old logger, pro logger, and see if we can make him happy. Brock at B-Ray Farms has hooked us up with this stuff. And also with the Archer chain, he's been real good to us. If we need to get a hold of him, maybe I'll leave the contact information. I'll pin it. Hey, the boss, come out. Come here. Let's talk to the boss a second. Look what she did for me. Tell everybody, hi, Barb.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah, she brought me a cup of coffee.
You folks have a good new year, okay? Take care.
She's good to me, ain't she? Yep, she was thinking. Thanks, Barb. So, what I think we're going to do with this saw is we obviously have got to do something horrible with that muffler. We know what's in them. They really need some work. But we're going to run with a stock muffler rather than pipe it, because he don't care for all that rattle and that noise that we get out of these. I love it. A lot of you guys do. But some loggers, they just soon be able to hear everything else too. And he's going to be cutting a piece of maple. It's a smaller maple, but it's the job needs to be thin desperately. It's one of them, every tree's the same size. You thin it. You let the other ones grow. And we'll be covering bucking logs, skidding. We'll be covering managing your roads, felling techniques, all this. That doesn't mean I'm slowing up on your guys' build. I'm just going to work more days. So I'll work half a day or a day up there building, running saws. And so I got to do some hustling. I got a few that I want to run. This is going to be interesting. I will cover this fully on video, okay? I will do this. And if we're successful, I'll give you all the numbers, the whole 9 yards. If we're not, well, we'll just try again. And we'll get it right. Whether or not we can cut hard maple in winter with a 24-inch bar with this small of a saw, I don't know. You're asking a lot. But you know I got a trick up my sleeve. You know it. You know it. I wouldn't try it if I think I couldn't have done it. But I'm not promising, but we're going to give it a shot. At the very least, you're going to have a pretty darn fast firewood saw. That's what we're going to have. But I've got one of them sitting on here. And I'll tell you what, I got a little bit of work to do yet. I want to get rid of the decomp. I haven't been able to run this as much as I want. This is Bucking Billy's. Yes, it is. I should have had this back in 3 weeks ago. I'm sorry. Boy, things kind of went screwy for me for a little bit. But we're going to be bucking logs. Maybe we'll be felling some trees with this. It's Pro 455 pooling. It's a reed saw. You know what that is, don't you? Yep. You know. And if you guys ain't seen it, we build a pipe for it. You will see this run. And I can't wait. We got one more muffler to finish. We might have Hogan's 2511 T top handle saw that we hot rodded for him up there on a job, and we'll be doing some limited testing with that. I need to test that some more too. We've had great success with that build. The only thing I don't like about it is in the cut, it'll bounce right off that governor. Yes, it does. That coil's governed. So I'm doing the research. Tin Man's been talking to me, and we've been putting our heads together. We think we can get rid of that governed coil. We think we can, I hope. We're going to know shortly. I'm either going to be a shining star or have to order a new coil. But we should have had that. I've had his saw for over a year. I've got saws here that from Bucking that, you know, he's not a big yank, but enough of a yank. So we got to get him out to him. Because I really, quite honestly, I'd love to see him on his channel. I just love watching how Bucking gets to reacting when we do something fun. Now, we do have some crazy builds coming as soon as we get the rest of these saws out. We have a 272 for one of you guys. We'll be running that. I know. I don't know how many. I think maybe that we'll be running that Blue Thunder. We'll probably be running that too next week, the way it looks. I've got saws of my own that I want to run. You know we got to run Junkyard Dog. We got to do that. I don't think I'm going to take Old Dave. I think I'm going to take, I got a stock P51 Pioneer that I'd like to run just a bit and just see what we got. And I'll tell you another one we got that we're going to be running is right up here. It's that old White Top 61 Husky. We're going to be running that. Thanks, Eric. Eric Nelson, my buddy, he hooked me up with that one. Nice cup of coffee. You know, this has been a funny year, 2020 was. I want to talk to you about something. We don't know whether we're going to have buck in stock. We don't know. Be nice. I want to see you guys. I really do. But I'm going to tell you what. Whether we do or we don't, probably next month, I'm going to start building saws for buck and stock. Now, I haven't even talked to Buckin about none of this, and it don't really matter. I know he'll let me do whatever I want anyway. I want to carry, if I can pull it off, a half a dozen saws to buck and stock. I really do. I want to be able to just hand 4 saws to 4 people when we finally get to do it. I want to be able to pick and choose who gets what. And I'm going to do that by not conversation with you, but by listening. And I'll know. I think it'd be good to help cover expenses. I think I'd like to raffle. I'll build 2 fairly high-end saws to raffle. But we might give them all away. We don't know. I might have 4 saws, but my goal is 6. If it goes a whole nother year, then we will have 12. I just want you to know I'm thinking of you guys, and I'm counting on you to be here. We are just a handful of people away from 16,000. Thanks so much. I know the videos have been kind of hit and miss for the last 3 months. I'm sorry, life gets in the way, and I got sick, and I couldn't get over it. I did get over it. And it come right back. You know, unbelievable, isn't it? But we got to do something. We got to do something together. I don't know what to say. 2021 is probably not going to be the best year either, but guess what? We can pull this off. We can make this a great year. We have to make it good. Maybe everything will die down now that we got a new, one of them. On YouTube, there's a lot of we can't say anymore. They keywords will stop this video from being up, trust me. So I'm not mentioning anything on it. As soon as I get caught up on YouTube, you'll see me on Rumble, which I got 1 video on there just to establish. If you want to know my opinions or things I can't show or won't show on YouTube, will be on Rumble. I'll make you aware of it when we do things like that. But I don't have a political agenda. I just get pissed right off sometimes and have to go on a little bit of a rant. And it's got where here, if you're not saying exactly what they want you to say, they just don't monetize you or they'll pull the video. We don't need all that hassle here, guys. We just don't. So we're going to play nice right here, but not on Rumble. I won't play nice there. I'll tell you what I'm thinking exactly in all ways. But you will see things on Rumble that I won't put here. That's guaranteed promise. A lot of saw builders out there. Welcome them. Some of them we talk to, some we don't. It's up to them. I am not prejudiced toward anybody. If they want to visit, they do. I know a bunch of you guys that build or in the comments. Guys, thanks for being here. Just thanks. It's a one world. It's a unity. Why can't we have that with the saw builds too? Well, there's no secrets. It's just different ways of doing the same thing. That's really what it boils down to. It's math and science, guys. That's all it is. And it's either going to work or it doesn't. Don't be afraid to try new things. Okay, that's it for this video. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Goodbye.